There's Barbara. Okay. Get this energy out. Seems to like right there. Okay. Looks like that's the sweet spot. Like right here. Okay. Good to know. Still getting all of it together. See how much my body can support it. That takes a lot for the shoulder. Still not through. Let's find out where I'm at. Okay. We'll see how that is so far. Okay. That didn't turn out good. Where am I at? Well, first of all, good evening. I guess, or good morning. First of all, good morning to everyone and all. Thank you for coming. I go by 8 Wind is Timeless. I'm also a Time Lord. Um, it all started with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game created by the Hero Twins, which some way means I have a responsibility to the continuous ball game that is played all around the world. And that is why part of my job is to point out the corruptness. And there are times I've also pointed out the beauty, because there's still a beauty to it. And despite how it's presented and who presents it, there's still a beauty to it. But I am also your galactic daddy-o, sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. All right. Let me see. Yeah. There we go. Oh, you've been sipping Jim Beam? That's the perfect segue to the sponsors, Lurking Class. And tonight we're going back to Alaskan Amber by the Alaskan Brewing Company. You didn't have any bottles. Kind of a bummer. See how long I can wear these headphones? Because they get hot. But so far, so good. So pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Look at that amber color. Like, when you like take a beer like Budweiser, when you look at that and you look at the color of it, because they use rice. They use rice instead of I believe it's barley, but they use rice, and you can see how it just throws off the color. Now, not to say other ones, because it's cheaper to use rice. That's why a lot of companies use it. It's cheaper. Now, I know that one time Ford was supposed to buy Leinenkugel, and they were one of the last companies that didn't. And I bet Stella uses the same process that owns Budweiser. It's just cheaper. That's why I like making beer. We made beer. We used all the barleys. We didn't use the rice. As I said before, we even used the mixed Michigan cherries. We made a certain type of beer, and they made a citric type of beer that called Whitsun. That nobody makes this, because most of what you get now is a hazy IPA with the citrus flavor. Not them. This wasn't a hazy IPA. This wasn't an IPA. Oh, there's PJ. Okay. There he is. Thank you for joining me. Okay. All right. Get the Warriors up in here. One thing I did fail you guys on yesterday and just slipping. We got to start off with this. Is Bitcoin. I woke up this morning. Oh, okay, it's even hit. Okay, now this is fairly recent. Huh. Well, they were up because Bitcoin was 59 last week. So Bitcoin has taken a tremendous hit, almost eight grand. I know earlier it was over 50 when I checked it a couple hours ago. And so now it's back down 12%. Shit, in 7 days it lost $6,800. Compared to Dodge, which only lost 7 cents, not even 7.7, so not even 7. Yeah, not really even a whole cent. Yeah, I guess 7 cents. Ethereum seems like it's the better bet. It's made $300. Gained in 12 hours, it gained another 126. So, but yeah, so pay attention. If you playing this, pay attention. No. Oh, he's gonna have to say something again. Cheaper prices create greater profits, and like here, the price of gas has went up here about a dime. It's $3.79, but we've been seeing this, around this. Last week, I think I said I got gas for $2.64, and then Speedway, you get 3 cents off of that. So today, Speedway, like if I tend to go more east, the price sometimes gets cheaper, not all the time, but on an average, the more I go east, the cheaper it seems to get on some instances. I have 200 stocks and 7 cryptocurrency. This is the best time to buy. Bet, Moray. Moray just gave y'all some good advice. Cheaper prices, greater. Oh, it's 310 in Bama. Okay, it's 310 down there. Yeah, it's 379. So, like when I had bought a Land Rover, the prices was like this, 260 something, and that price went up to 380 consistently. It was costing me. I remember for a 2-week period, it cost me $400 at both weeks in just gas. $400 just in gas. Now, I didn't want my children to go to school where we lived, so I took them back and forth. My other son, again, you had to pay to park at school. And so he would drop me off at work, and then he would go to school. And then my ex would have to drive the other car to go pick the boys up because it didn't work out with my son getting out and then picking me up from work. Or sometimes we did even that. So that was a hell of a bill. That was a hell of a bill for me. Bang joint you got out there. Yeah, I mean that's a good portfolio though. I mean what he showed you, he's diverse. He's diversified his holdings, and working with what the system would get him. That makes sense. But be mindful, and you have to pay attention. You can't just get into this and not pay attention to it. Like even 401ks, most people don't even pay attention to their 401ks, and you should. Don't just let a machine, operate something that you have a say about. Sorry. Oh, and I'm still playing with this equipment. I'm still playing with this equipment, so I'm just having fun. Beautiful day. My daughter and I got out for a couple hours. It was in the 70s, shorts up here, definitely shorts up here in the 70s. My daughter was complaining it's cold. I think I even opened this other window. This window right here is fully open because under all these lights, it'd be hot. And so beautiful day. We got out. I shot about probably 50 shots, and I was just in my flat slides. I should have worn my Crocs. I think that's what I'll do next time. Just wear my Crocs and go shoot. I don't know. It kind of wears them out too, though. Shooting in shoes like slippers wears them out. But sometimes and it's blacktop. I misspoke. I was thinking it was concrete. No, it's blacktop. Perfect thing that gives, especially when it's hot. Blacktop is nice to play on in the summer because it gives. That's why what a lot of people turn to is they would put the tennis court paint on top of the blacktop, and it really made a good sticky court. If y'all remember seeing that switch where the sticky court used to just be on the tennis courts, but it was like, why just put it there? Put it on these basketball courts as well. And it was a great surface. I remember the city built these parks in Battle Creek, and they got a park loan. And I remember my father saying one thing, because my father had worked for the city for a number of years. He said that you really could not tear these hoops down. They are the maker of these basket supports are highlighted in the movie White Man Can't Jump. I think in the beginning they show, and I think everybody that's ever seen park hoops now, but it's the solid piece of just concrete that's curved, and you put the hoop on top of that. And the metal and stuff is in this piece of concrete. But this dude in Battle Creek, he's the one that invented this, and it's in White Man Can't Jump, and it's just a little pillar, and then you connect the hoop to the pillar, and those things you can't tear those down. You can't even tear the rim, and then they put the double rim rims. And I don't know if people are really understand the double rim rims. There's almost like a two little piece of round pieces. If you understand. Like you could just roll up a little thing about so big, but it was kind of like double layered. And I never saw anybody tear those rims down. But it was a trick to shoot on them. One guy had 11 threes in a game. I had 9, but he had the most out of the 7-8 years of the semi-pro ball. He had the most in one game. Michael had 11. I had 9. I had what was it? I played 3 games and averaged, I had like a crazy 150, 160 points like in 3 games, which is like 35 or something. And because we had lost, we won 1 game and we lost 2. And so we was in the loser bracket and we won to get back into a place. And then they made me play back to back. I played a good team and had like 37, 38. We lost. Then played another tough game and we won. I think that's the game I hit 9 threes. Then we played 10 minutes after playing 2 tough games. I take off my shoes and I think I'm getting a break. And they're like, why are you taking off your shoes? We're playing right now. And the third game, even though I had 30 some, I started cramping. I just started getting cramps, and all of us. We only had like maybe 6, 7 guys, and they had been sitting. And this was like for third place. And they beat us. And it was just so hard. I got so tired without any break. It was like trying to play, back to back to back to back, and then just play. Yeah, and I kind of broke down a little bit. Reminiscing. Oh man, reminiscing. Oh. Yeah, I checked that out too. I ain't really got much to say about that propaganda. I've said this before. One of the first short films that ever impressed me was a film called The Lottery. And as I told this story a couple of weeks ago, but I'm telling it again if people never heard this. There is a short film called The Lottery. And what you see in the beginning is everyone saying, yes, there's always been a lottery. We've always got to have the lottery. This kind of propaganda. And so they agree. Everybody pulls out their numbers. And one young woman, she's the one that wins the lottery. And they show the people all go like they're going to get something. And they go get rocks. And everybody in the village stones this woman to death. And I mean, they kind of show it. They show a couple. It's kind of funny. I wish I could find it because it probably makes some good memes. It's like, pow, a couple people blast her. She's like, why are you doing this? I don't deserve this. And pow, a big rock upside her head. So it's kind of funny. But that's the thing. They've always had this. I mean, they stole the lottery from the street people too. Remember that? Yes, they give the $1 million prizes, but the street people, it should be a modern movie showing the numbers runner. It really should. And this is something the government stole. But there should be, Ed Martin is the best example I can give anybody, the person that got Michigan and Chris Webber and them. There should be something for him. And maybe I'll try to put something together one day because this man was doing it. And he was doing it in a way he wasn't spreading dope. In a way, he was spreading hope because the numbers are a type of hope for people. Again, there was times you could play a nickel, a dime. I know you could play a quarter in the 60s still because they still had 50 cents. When the lottery started, the state took it over. And the brain you have to meet all these people, and you get slips. So it ain't like the Malcolm X movie. You got to remember everything if that person ever really existed. But this was a person that supported Detroit basketball in the AAU with a passion. Picking children up, buying children shoes, taking children to the games, paying for their hotels. And this man was pretty much outlawed. Probably put him. He's been passed. Probably didn't help his health any. This man didn't sell dope. This man was a numbers runner and worked for one of the. I don't remember if it was GM, Chrysler, or Ford. I don't remember. I want to say GM. And this is how this man is treated. He never put poison in the community. Did he take money in the community? Yes. But in a way like I haven't witnessed anybody else, he put money back into the community by investing in the youth. And not just the youth. He was, when the car crashed that had Tractor Trailer and Marquise Teeves and the other dude named Taylor, I think his name was. That's what caused kind of the downfall of all that. Because they got in a car accident and then they looked at like, how he driving this? But see, it was the kind of haters, How is he driving this car? How's his mama? How can she afford the car? Cleves ends up at Michigan State. Oh, did anybody else join me? Okay. Why do people never research? That's a thing too. Hey, Aggie Pride, the one. Thank you. Siova, what's happening, man? Thank you for joining me. I'm still playing with this stuff, having fun. That's why I came on here too, to plus get more moderators too, because a lot of times go over to the other system and you can't add the moderators. So from this you can. So that's my man, Steova. Uh, this is what I love about all the people, and you can't just look at a person by their age, uh, but you have to look at their experience and their intentions, and saying, look at this. We still have, or a lot of people still have a chance to make this the best you can make it if this is your thing. If you have a message, and I agree wholeheartedly, you try to improve it the most you can. Now, in some instances, people might not, but it is worth learning. It is worth learning. And this little thing is just so fun. I have my daughter cracking up all day. We just messing with this little thing. And portability. This is going to be a great thing for portability. And there's a place in the woods I'm going to set up, and I'm going to take this, and it's going to be perfect for that. Now, I am going to need 1,000 subscribers to do that. And I'm a little short for that so far. But as the weather gets nicer, you never know. People may just support or whatever's happening. So that is a future thing that I think would be really cool, really fun. I even see this as being effective for Match Me, because Match Me is just full. You can play music. I see this a lot, that this could be used for that. So still working the bugs out. I'm still hearing my sound popping and stuff. So it's something that's still not the greatest, but I'm trying. Sebastian, what's happening? Did you guys see the games today? It was interesting. Booker did the double dribble. I didn't think for a second they was going to call it. Now I almost did a film on Dillard. This bigger dude. Okay, Dillard is my size. The guy guarding was 6'7" and can move. So Dillard's to his left, and we know Dillard's right-handed. So Dillard wants to go left, and the guy lets him go left, and Dillard kind of hooks him. But this is what I don't understand. And I know anticipation, athletic ability. Even when Dillard hooked the guy was in perfect defensive position. He was in perfect defensive position to still defend well. But instead of defending him, instead of spreading his legs out and taking that extra step, he keeps his legs together. So instead of taking a hard jab, where I would love for a smaller guy to think he made it to the basket. And then it would be great to kind of catch it, because if you're a little behind a person, when they put it up, you can still block it easier. And so, a lot of times I would give people that just to wait for them to try to put it up. And so I looked at it as like, okay. And then a couple plays that do DD up. So I looked at that play like no help at all. And the thing they say is, well, you got to stay on your man because the dish to the three. Yeah. So, and missing free throws. And just the way you can see him shaving points with the missed free throws. So, and we're going to have fun with it. This is probably what they're going to be setting up. They're going to be setting up the Suns or Utah to play Portland, Golden State, or the Lakers. Those two teams going to have to deal with them. And this is the interesting thing, is if whoever knocks off number one will get that bracket. If you understand, they will get that bracket. So what I'm saying is, okay, if one of these 7 or 8s beat a 1 or 2, they're going to move like the 1 or 2 is going to move until you get to the last few games. So one of those teams at 7 or 8 is going to have an easier time if they win, because they did beat the number 1 seed or number 2 seed. That's what I think they're setting up. Now both teams are going to make it. The Lakers are going to have to, looks like, do the play-in game. The Lakers have to win. I think if the Lakers win their next 2 games, the Lakers will not have to play-in. So if they, I think right now, if they win 2 games, they won't have to play an extra game. But if they lose one of these 2 games, they will. So this hurt Portland a little bit too tonight. Their loss. Timberwolves lost to Denver. Twins have lost 8 in a row. The Twins, after beating Kansas City, that series, the Twins have lost 7 out of 8. The Wild have, and it's almost like I know how to bet here. It's like bet all the Minnesota teams to lose. The only ones going to the playoffs is the Wild, because the Timberwolves are about to be done. A couple games left. And I say LeBron and them go win too, because one of the games is against the Pelicans. Check this out. And I didn't mention this last night. So we know A-Rod and who's the billionaire that's running with him. Forgive me for saying his name, but basically A-Rod is the name. They wasn't able to get the deal done in the original good faith period. They weren't able to get the deal done to buy the Timberwolves in a good faith period. So they wasn't able to close. This is kind of what changed today. They opened the negotiations, they accepted it, but this is the thing. Before, it was going to be them owning a part of it and then putting Taylor out. The deal today said that Taylor still is going to have full control for the next 2 years. So they didn't have the money. And they talked all that shit about Kevin Garnett. Didn't have the money. And look what they did for A-Rod now. They ain't had the money, because the deal before was they was taking control. And now he's going to keep the team control 2 more years. So it's interesting. But if that can keep the team here, maybe that's where we're at. Oh, definitely. What's up, Jesse Lynn? Thank you for joining me. Timelessness to you. That's right. I am the Starface. Do you know what that perception means? You know, to really be star-faced. You can look at old pictures of Moses, and supposedly after Moses sees the tablets, no, he opens up the crypt. And apparently when he comes out, he is like a star face. They couldn't even look at him. When he came out, his face was in such a star-like condition where the people that looked upon him just did him in. People couldn't look at him when he was apparently in the star face mode. That was the first time I've ever saw something like that. It was either he opened up the crypt thing or when he got to, I forget, but it's a picture of him that I had, and maybe it was in my Quran. I don't remember. I want to say it was in my Quran, but he sees something that made him a star face. And so when I learned that is basically what his name is Starface Flower. So that's what they would have called him. And so, yeah, was able to get that permission to use that too. That's all. But the 8-win kind of fits a little better for right now. The league hates the Pelicans. Well, I don't know if they hate them. It's always been struggles playing down there. And that's even going back to when Pistol Pete was first down there, because there was a guy that had played at Western Michigan named Paul Griffin that played down there too. So we caught some of them games on our cable sometime because of that connection. And Pistol Pete was still a big carry. So they've always had trouble, playing down there, just really getting support. No baseball team down there. Am I wrong? No baseball. I don't even think they have hockey. I don't even think they have hockey there. So that's kind of what it is. But you saw what they did. They traded Davis for Zion. That's kind of what the deal came out to be. And so I don't know how much they hate it. It just appears that just like they did with the Saints. The Saints was nothing forever. Forever. Remember, they used to wear garbage bags on their heads. And just like we saw with 9/11, they did the same thing with Katrina with the Saints. 9/11 came, Patriots win. First time the Patriots had won. Remember, the Patriots had lost 2 Super Bowls before. They lost to the Bears. Can't remember the first one. I'd have to think about it for a minute. So 9/11, the Patriot wins. We have Katrina, they let them win. And it's been 3 years of shaming pretty much. So I don't think they're ever going to be put in that position again. Craig Deep, what's happening? Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the Pats used to be Boston Pats. That's how they came, was the Boston Pats of the AFL. They was an AFL team. So when Kraft bought them, I bet he didn't even pay that much for them. I bet he paid a couple $100 million. I mean, I know back then that seemed like a lot of money, but now these programs, these things are $1 billion. Even going back to the Bears paid in, I think, $100 in 26, something like that. Maybe 22, 21, maybe 20, 21, I think is what they call 100 years. The pay-in was $100. And now that same $100 has garnered them a $1 billion business. A generational business for $100, paid 1920 something. Oh, okay. Thank you, Overstand. Thank you. I like cheap. You can see this. This just got out the box. It's still got the box wrinkles in it, but it was like $7. $7. So I'm like, why not? And the back is like a trippy. I mean, it's a bunch of shit on the back. I didn't even know that. I just saw this, and it's a champion shirt. I mean, it's champion too. So, which means it's a quality shirt. It's quality clothing. Champion used to be before the Jordan stuff. It was Champion. So Champion once held it as well. So it's not like they just came. They've been, like, you watch the Community Splash channel. He has a jersey in there, and the jersey is a Magic Johnson Champion jersey. Well, thank you. That's kind of you to say. That's very kind of you to say. How long we've been? Okay. That is very kind of you to say. Oh, but like we have a big festival coming. I might even take this in there to do the festival. I know this sounds, but I don't know. That's even a possibility. I think the first day I think is blues. The second day is mostly country western. So I don't think I'd do it then, but this would even be an idea to take this little thing there and broadcast. So there's a lot of possibilities. Can you imagine being on a boat? You could be on a boat and broadcast with this thing. So a lot of possibilities. This is very light. I think 8 hours worth of charge time. It's Blu-ray, or no, not Blu-ray. Whatever you call it. It hooks with the phone. What's this shit called? I had to read this shit. Bluetooth. Oh, the Tesla shit. Tesla's responsible for Bluetooth. And be on a boat, and you could like really do a podcast. Now, I guess I haven't tested because you would be working off the phone, but it appears like it would be strong enough to support the phone podcasting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it when I do my talk shoe. I'm going to go back on the talk shoe again and connect this to the talk shoe and see how it responds. Oh, shit. Wow, gold is up to 1,800. Ain't that funky? Silver's down to 27, but damn, that still ain't bad. Silver bullion is 28. Now, they do not have 14 karat on here. But Crazy Sarge yesterday said it was 89 cents, I think, a gram or an ounce. Maybe 89 cents an ounce. No, I think it was 89 cents a gram. Yeah, because that made, 10 grams. Yeah, for $10. Yeah, something like that. So gold is playing. Silver's down. Wow. Not much. 2 cents. Not much. So still a pretty good bet. And you can get jewelry and break it down yourself and have the real stuff. Oh, the one said the varsity had the Nike. Okay. Oh, the one said, okay. He said high school football gear was champion. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's been around for a long time. Man, I'm trying to think it was champion what I wore back in the 90s or early 80s. Late 70s and early 80s. Because I'm trying to think. I think it was. Because the jerseys I played in is very plain. I got to bring my scrapbook out here and post some pictures up. But our shit was plain. Our shit didn't even say A&T on it. It was just a clean jersey with numbers and numbers on the sleeves. And we had the gold pants. We had the dog on the helmet, the bulldog on the helmet. Yeah, very plain. I like when the A&T just had all blue helmets. That shit was sweet, I thought. Run it up. Russell. Yeah, Russell too. Could have, yeah, Russell's an older gear too. Definitely. And that's the thing is it wasn't a whole lot of like sweat outfits and stuff that people worked out in. I think I told this story before. When I was in junior high, that there was a racket the schools had. The schools forced you to buy gym clothes. They forced you to buy warm-up suits and they forced you to buy top and bottom. This was a racket they did for years. And then they finally came in, somebody sued them and was like, this is illegal because you're profiting off a class. And so by the time I was in ninth grade, it was like we wore whatever the fuck we wanted to wear. But up to I think I was in ninth grade, you had to wear that shit they provided. But that shit was Russell back then. And this is something I don't know if people understood either. You could buy your high school's stuff, like to said their name. Very limited, though. Very limited. I mean, schools did not take advantage like they do now to put this stuff out there. They just didn't. The schools were tight about their stuff. See the jump. The schools were very tight about the way they sold the things in the 70s when I went to high school. They weren't as they didn't see that they held their product more, made it more exclusive to the students and not necessarily everybody. For some reason, they thought it was more exclusive. I don't know. They just didn't sell the stuff. Not really. Not like you see today. And I thought that was a mistake then. And then somebody finally said, hey, people will buy the high school stuff. Shooting baskets. My daughter had a young, one of her classmates. He was shooting baskets with us. She's like, you didn't come to school what day? And he said that it was grandparents' anniversary. They had been married 35 years. But he had, like, Prior Lake is called the Lakers. But he had a hat with a sweet anchor on it. And I don't mean a Jesus type of anchor. I mean, it was really thought. And it was just sweet, embroidered on there. And I was like, where'd you get that hat from? He's like, this is my baseball team's hat. And then he told me that they sucked. They've lost 3 games. He's like, I'm not on a very good baseball team. I'll try to guide myself because this shit's sweating the hell out of me. So there's value now. Now parents get exclusive stuff. I noticed I was at a football game and a lady had some stuff on that I didn't even see around here because there's several places that sell this stuff. I'm thinking about getting another A&T because they'll make whatever you bring them. Another A&T a coat. I'm thinking about making my sweater into a coat. Letterman's jacket. Yeah. That was, and I never got a high school Letterman's jacket. I never did. It was ugly. Our colors was maroon and white. Now the coach bought this color, our jerseys and stuff, but the high school colors wasn't with the gold. He kind of added that. Our high school colors was maroon and white. So very ugly varsity jackets. Maroon, darker than this maroon, dark maroon with white sleeves. And with the maroon and with white outline KC for Kalamazoo Central. And you get the numbers, of course, when you're in 10th grade or whatever, unless you played on varsity. But it was just the ugliest shit in the world. The A&T shit was sweet. That blue and gold shit was sweet, but that shit, nah. But I got a sweater and a coat in the closet. Sweater bit ain't fit. And then the fraternity was called Cunt Phi Cunt. That was the football fraternity that went back like 50, 60 years. Like they had always did this shit. They came up with the football players' own fraternity and of course harassed us for damn near a year. But that was the price. The bans, like hazing, I talked about hazing a few weeks ago, how they arrested these motherfuckers and charged them for making these boys drink. But we went through some of that shit. I talked before about how they damn near killed a boy, making him drink at A&T. And they had to take him into the shower and run cold water on him because they had made him drink too much. And that kind of behavior should be outlawed. That's abuse. That is definitely abuse. But for years, it went on. And then it even went down to the high schools. When I was in high school, nobody was doing that shit. And then later, it was all kind of crazy shit. Older preying on younger and throwing that Greco shit in there, that Greek shit in there. I never experienced no bullshit like that in high school. And later saw some boys charged and jailed for doing some harassing these children. So shit got out of hand. Little power. It's been allowed though. It was allowed bullying. Dazed and Confused goes through it in high school. I never saw that in high school, but Dazed and Confused. They caught all the freshmen and got to paddle them. The girls got to humiliate the girls that wanted to be cheerleaders. So this is ritual that's been going on. I mean, Animal House. Yes, sir, can I have another? Kevin Bacon. On all fours in his tidy whities. And you can't tell me that doesn't represent sodomy. It does. Yes, sir, can I have another? And I remember, I'll say this, when my father went to Western, my father didn't get his bachelor's degree until like 69. He graduated in 61. He worked and just kept going. He got it in 69. He got his master's 72, 73. But we was on campus all the time. Like I talk about, I remember the war protesters. More war protesters than civil rights protesters. But I also remember going into the cafeteria and seeing them damn paddles. That's how they would be represented, would be on big ass paddles, and they had a name of the fraternity. And it's interesting. This brings back a memory of mine. We were sitting there with this brother. I don't think my dad knew him. And this brother had put honey on his chicken. And he said he was from Kentucky. And he said that's how they ate chicken. And that's what taught me to put honey on chicken. I never forgot that. Thinking about being in that cafeteria. Yeah, the one. Yeah. I mentioned I wasn't playing with this cat, so I didn't really know the dude. But yeah, just young boy at A&T. The year I didn't play, the year after, and I'd moved on. Young man, making them drink too much, and that's young women doing this. I've told a story. I'm not going to tell her story. I don't really feel like bringing the energy out, but a young woman been treated very badly, doing the same thing, drinking too much and passing out, and passing out around animals. I mean, that's really the story turned out to. That's why I really don't even want to share that energy. Passed out around a bunch of animals. And you think these people around you was cool with and everything. They ran that poor girl. Out of college or out of A&T. Just my ellipticus. But this is 10 milliliters of it. It's a little stronger. And it has a sugite on it. I want to say this again, and you can get any kind you want. You ain't got to get this kind. I'm not really giving them a commercial, but and this was probably the CBD love lotion, but it's 200 milligrams of CBD, and it's called this. And again, but I'll say this: I did some work, and I just can't work. I mean, I have back spasms. I have a disease that attacks my spine, especially my lower back. I've had spasms forever. Used to lift up big chassis, and probably needed a back brace, and that's probably when I started getting spasms. But did a little work. Had a friend that needed something done, and no one else to really turn to, so did a little work. And for 2 nights in a row, putting this on my back, I didn't wake up sore. My elbows, even though I wore a brace, put them on my elbows. Haven't been sore. Now I don't get to see the chiropractor till Monday. So this stuff has helped. Stuff has really helped. You can get it even stronger than this. I think you can get 500 milligrams and 1,000. Now I don't know drug testing. I can't say yay, nay, I don't know. But far as like I have the capsaicin cream, where the cream really burns and gets deep. And this seems to be the same thing without that burning. Now, this is strawberry. I didn't get the right flavor. I don't like after I smell a certain way, then strawberry at it. It's not very good to go out with. I'd rather be plain. There's Jeffrey Lane. Oh, I want to say about deliverance. Yeah, you know what they say? They say that Joe Biden is the little boy playing the banjo. Anybody ever heard that before? Now he's way older. He was probably in his 30s when Deliverance was out. But anybody ever heard that? That they call Joe Biden the little boy that's playing the, down. And anybody ever heard that? That Joe Biden was called that? Ready for that? So, something kind of funny. Hey, Crazy Sarge, what's happening? Oh, you missed I guess I have been going on that long. Oh, what's happening, Jeffrey? But yeah, Deliverance is the trip. He'd be like, squeal like a pig. That's the funniest shit in there. He's like, squeal like a pig as he's doing debauchery on this man. He's telling him to squeeze like a pig because they cut that out of one version. But the real movie, they raped this dude. This dude gets raped. I mean, it's like they raped Ted Beatty. Look up Ted Beatty. He's in the toy. But it's like he's getting raped by a mountain man. And the mountain man tells him to squeal like a pig, showing that the mountain man was into debauchery as well. Turn me on like that animal I usually have to rape turns on. That's the original movie. A mountain man rapes a city slicker, and Burt Reynolds hits him with some arrows. There he is. Okay, James. There we go. I came on this way just for you to. Okay, there you go, James. This is the reason why I kind of use this tonight instead of SteamYard. There we go. I should be Trump tight, as they say in moderators. Ah, but there's a lot of movies that show that kind of thing. Well, this is the thing with the gas that you have to understand. Okay, they're saying that the refinery, the storage, the refinery to release the gas went down, and so they didn't have the software put up to reboot the system to make the system come back again, and so the system just came back up today. So this is the reason. Now I've been hearing people saying that people is freaking putting gasoline in bags. That's illegal. If anybody saw people doing that, people would call the police. I want somebody send me a video showing that the person was allowed to do that. There's generally a person working at most gas stations that would come out and say that's illegal. It says right on there, you have to put gas in approved containers. Ain't nowhere in America, goddamn plastic bag is approved container. Now there is Cub Foods here does have their own gas station where nobody's really there all the time, but there's somebody there some of the time, and somebody would tell them, like, people out there, you can't do that. So I don't know why people would even start those type of rumors, because that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Well, thank you, Necessary Evil. It's still hell here. I heard Florida too. But see, up here we on a different, we on a different line than down there. Another line is in Chicago. Chicago's a big refinery. That's my earliest memories of Chicago is smelling refinery, because there's natural gas and refineries as you go through, like Calumet, and you going through one of them, the Calumet Bridge, I think they call it. You come that way, 94, and you come right on Lake Michigan, and you'll see where all the harbor is there, and that's all the grubby harbor of Chicago is right in there. But right off Calumet, you come off 94 going west. Before you come into where the Dan Ryan ends up meeting, you end up in the Eisenhower. No, the Eisenhower I think is down, but the Dan Ryan come into there. Unless you take the Skyway around Gary. But I'll tell you, I don't know how people live in Chicago. I don't I mean, I have went in Chicago. I've said this story before, where we was working in Kenosha, which is on the other side of Chicago, like west, going on the border. And normally it would take us 3 hours just to drive to Kenosha. Take about 2.5 to get to downtown Chicago. Or if we took the Skyway, went around, take 3 hours. It was sometimes where we got caught and it would take us 5 hours. Traffic would be so bad. One time it took 4 hours on the Skyway. We left a little late. And people deal with this type of don't move. Like traffic here in Minneapolis, it still moves. Traffic in Chicago wouldn't move. I don't know how people did it. People talking about, it'd be like 2 hours drive time. And you'd be like 10 miles from where you live. And it would take you 2 hours, or an hour to go, an hour to come back. That's hard. It wouldn't be a problem. Oh, that's interesting. They ain't got the electric way stations. But yeah, they said they gave them $5 million. I mean, they've been doing that around the country, around the world. Excuse me. They've been doing that around the world. Hack some motherfuckers and make them pay. Wasn't nothing they could do. There was nothing they could do to stop that. And so they had to pay. Lucky that's all they asked for. Nah, I disagree. You talking about 3 years? Nah. They ain't, there's not the infrastructure for that yet. There's not the infrastructure. And batteries are too expensive to put batteries everywhere, because that's the practical answer. Is you go so many miles and you swap batteries. Well, right now that's not affordable, but that would be the practical answer. You know, most of them got what, 250 to 300 range. Somewhere in there, you'd have to have a weigh station, and then you swap batteries out, and you would get that. But that would cost way more money than petroleum. And then the thing to look at, this is the other thing to look at, is look at how many people after having electric cars go back to the other ones. So, yeah, not possible by 25, exactly. Yeah, and this chip storage, and that's buying new cars. Unplugged. I'm not sure why it's showing that. Okay. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. There we go. Whatever I did, it fixed it. Yeah. Okay, it's charging. What's happening? James says, why is all the gas going in Georgia? Again, because of the hackers. You got to get an electric car? I don't know. Even, it's just like, this is the thing. And I've got to resubscribe to the guy who builds from scratch, or not scratch, but takes them apart from scratch, the Teslas, because he tells you the pros and cons of having electric cars and having the outlet put in your home, and the amount of expense you're going to switch from getting gas to putting into that car. Because if you don't get you don't change get the complete charging system, you'll have your car plugged in all night, and that car might only be 30-40%. So you have to buy this system that will handle to charge your car the proper way. I mean, there's no avoiding that. That's an extra expense. I think it's like $2,500 to get that thing. Pony Express style. Now I'll tell you what's sweet, and I'll tell you what's sweet and is becoming practical is in electric bikes is practical in the motherfucker. That shit is practical as fuck. It really is. You live like for me to live in Minneapolis, and there's pretty much nowhere I couldn't go on an electric bike. Some of them bikes got a range of 30 plus miles. And it don't take that long to charge them. And then some of them you pedal is charging them. So here you could go back and forth from Minneapolis to the St. Paul riding. From where I live, I have to cross the bridge. There's a place in Eden Prairie where I could ride a bike. It's trails. And I could ride a bike to where my mother lives from Eden Prairie. I'd have to park my car, take the bike out, and then I could take a certain way where I wouldn't have to take the highway. This is all trails. And it would take me it's probably 15 miles from my mother's to downtown, St. Louis Park. But I wouldn't even have to stop there. I could just go. It would probably be almost 18 miles that I could take trails into Minneapolis. And Minneapolis is a great city for something like that. We got 2 big lakes where you could just ride your bike around the lakes, chill and be out there sunning around the lakes. This is not far from what that Floyd shit happened. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. If y'all seeing this in y'all cities, where Floyd got killed, the police don't go anymore. Now they're telling stories that there's been just rapes and brutalizations over there. But it is a fact that they don't drive over there anymore. Now that goes into me talking about prison cities, but this is one area they do not police anymore. And they try to tell you gangs took over, because what they did is the people did build a monument. And they build a kind of roundabout, but they don't let people drive through it anymore. And this is a main thoroughfare to go, like up Lake Street, Chicago, one of the busy streets that goes from the south side all the way over to the north side. Well, the highway cuts it off at a point, but this is already where we're seeing they do not police there. And so that goes into the same point I've been trying to make all week. Is at a certain point, if you live in those conditions, you're going to have to take over, because the police are not going to respond anymore in certain neighborhoods. This is a reality that is coming. There's already a lot of shaming. And they are going to, as I mentioned, they're going to try to show they're needed. And possibly could be the setup. I'm just going as I'm saying, but this could be the setup. Say they suspend police for 10 years, and then the people beg them to come back. It would be like they did in RoboCop. They would come back stricter. They would come back almost like the USSR kind of control. And people would go along with it. People would go along with it. This criminalization's been so bad that we need something, not knowing that all the gangsters is working together. I mean, they would let it go for 10 years like that, and then try to come back and be more suppressive. Because again, the lawlessness that they would want to achieve is going to take a period of time. And they would be behind it. Take no doubt about that. They would be behind it too, to show, well, if we're not police, then we're going to be the criminals too. Do you dig? This is what the thinking has been being. Electric cars while we ride bikes. CDOT don't care about cars now. Yeah, they really don't. No, they're not stopping. They're not stopping. It's to a point, yeah, where they're not stopping. But I'm gonna say this too. Like if you play like even the tag game, like I went in and got my tags today. Going without that kind of thing is attraction to them. I mean, you would really have to break their type of magic of that natural attraction. Now, again, they're going to stop stopping people. It's going to be a point where they're not, you probably ain't going to need a license plate anymore. We're not at that point yet, but I'm saying eventually it's going to be pretty, insurance is fuck insurance. Insurance is going to go out the window too. Because again, they're not going, like right now in certain states, they alert people of license plate numbers that don't have insurance. They're already alert. So when you go by them scanners, they can see if you have insurance or not. This thing ain't like that, but some states, I know Michigan is like that. So they can stop you and charge you. That's a double charge. The ticket is like $400, and then you get hit with an extra $400. It's probably more than that. That's what it used to be. It was a double ticket. You got a fine. You got a ticket and you got fined for not having insurance. But this is, I think, the long-range plan, is I think. That is their long-range plan, is to let it go for a number of years and then come back like RoboCop, come back more severe, saying you need us. And the people will be so desperate that the people will agree to it. So I'm saying, don't let this happen. Right now, where I live, a little area near me, a house that one of the schools I'm trying to put together is near me, and it's called, what is this called? I'm having brain farts. It is, but it's a new little area, and it was called a name. It's called like something like I draw a blank. I'm old man, and excuse me, but it's near me. It is east of me. But they've just become a little charter. They got their own little village now. They got their police, their fire department. They're voting on their mayor, and they're voting on their city council now. And so that is available to in a lot of areas. That ain't going to go away. No matter what kind of civilization, that kind of thing can still be had. And so my thing is, you might have to start thinking like that. Who are you going to get with to try to set up this kind of thing where you live in compounds? I mean, that's the way we might have to just start thinking, is setting up compounds, having some type of self efficiency, having water, setting up the greenhouses, hen houses. I mean, it's easy. Cows. I mean, whatever. And be self-sufficient. Educate our own children. Teach them real life skills. I did want to bring a couple things up too. Did y'all catch this? The Air Force A1's brain just flew for the first time. Now, remember, Jamie Foxx was in a movie where the plane, it was a atomic bomber, and it had the AI brain, but it had atomic bombs. Well, today, the U.S. Air Force's Skyborg, anonymous AI flew an aircraft by itself for the first time. Skyborg is designed to take human orders and translate into action, flying a plane along human flown aircraft. So the plane's going to be around them telling this other plane what to do, like the Jamie Foxx movie. Will someday see a fighter jet pilot giving orders to multiple, listen to this, the Skyborg system will someday see a fighter jet pilot giving orders to multiple AI-powered aircraft, having them perform dangerous or monotonous jobs without human interaction. ACS is what they're going to call it. Flew a pilotless drone over Florida and the Gulf of Mexico, proving the AI could adhere to basic flight commands. The system will eventually lead to high-powered drones powered by Skyborg, equipped with sensors, weapons, and other payloads to accomplish lonely and dangerous jobs that manned fighters used to carry out. I don't know if y'all caught that. That's cool. Hey, Shadow Dweller, thank you. People near me are still zombified. It's either more people wake up or I'll take the chip in 2025. Wow. That is deep. That is deep. But I mean, this is what, what, and this is, let's look at it what it is. This is no different than what Hitler was doing, flying them bombs over there and bombing England. But you notice every time Hitler didn't bomb the Queen. Isn't that some shit? It always killed some poor people. You sending all these bombs to England, and not one time did they bomb Buckingham Palace. Do you notice that? One of them churches got blown up. But this is and the other one was, now this is some shit. Now, this is some shit I've been talking about right here. Ivy League scientists says NASA may have accidentally spread life to Mars. Now, some of this, I read a little bit. I didn't realize I read some of this. Is saying that accidentally. At Verizon, we are investing $3 billion. Okay, shut up. But do you dig? This is the same thing I was saying. Through their document of discovery, they think they own this shit. They think they own the universe, and that is against universal law. That is against universal law. But they already putting shit up there. If they're up there. I'm still doubting very much they have the technology. Biden tweeted, get the jab or wear a mask until you do. Yeah, wow. Wait, what? Man, massa must be gassing stuff up sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Biden tweeted, that's, and did you guys dig that? Indigenous Rico said, get the jab or wear a mask until you do. Again, it's easy to copy them cards. It's I just looked at the gauge of cardboard that they use. It's easy to copy that shit. They telling you got to wear a mask for what? You gonna make motherfuckers wear masks outside? No. Is the motherfucker gonna be checking to see if you got the jab? No. Not for 10 years. Not for 10 years. Till they move to all digital system where they can scan you because to see if the chip is in you. Because eventually the motherfuckers, and now they saying the motherfuckers got to get them every year too. So yeah, you can skip that part. You can he can talk, but fuck him. That's what a lot of people are gonna say. Again, you ain't gotta go to the stores no more. Fuck their games. Fuck the movies. you want to say part? What you still motherfuckers gonna still be able to work. So, but that could be part of the prison cities too. That could be all part of it. They didn't think the card thing through. Well, they did, but Jesse Lynn, they was cheap because they knew there's no way they could keep up that quick. Now somebody gonna take all them cards and put them in a data bank. So yeah, that card thing is gonna go further, gonna last a little longer than what people think, and all the people putting them on. Now, if you got a laser printer that can print money, it can damn sure print a goddamn cardboard little card. So don't worry about that, everybody. Go make you a copy. Look on Facebook, make you a copy, and don't worry about that. That is not something that I see a big worry. Yeah, that's better. I'm sexier. They definitely about to force the issue in the workplace. We're gonna see about that. Yeah, possibly, but I don't know. Wait until your medical info is on your state ID. Yeah, that's a point too. Reopen in June, but to me they kind of folding early on these mandates. They want that bread, and you're gonna tell me that you are in a situation where you want to keep people on unemployment forever? You want to keep giving stimulus? Because that's communism. Is that what it's going to be? Everybody just no. They got to have production out of people. So yeah, they're still going to get they're going to force it. They're going to force everything on people. Well, people, you know what happens when you get forced? You fight back. That's all. You just fight back. That's what we was talking about, setting up your own compound, your own place, being self-sufficient if that's what they ask for. And this next 10 years, if you're able to achieve some of that, make it stronger. And then look at what might come. So I'd say it'd be great to get on a type of high ground. And do you know how easy it is to get little things like, in the Civil War days, they had a thing called a cannon. You know how easy it is to make that kind of stuff? And how effective it could be. Now, it ain't going to be drones and that shit, but if it's just regular people, just small arms, mortars. I mean, hell, anybody that's fucked with fireworks, you should know how to use a mortar. You put the motherfucker in, you light the thing, or you rip the cord and the motherfucker shoots up. That's a mortar. You can make that shit. I hope they don't quit making these motherfuckers. I prefer these. According to, if they force the vax on people by gun, they'd be kickback, but they be heavy. I'm not sure. According to universal law, if they force the vax on people by gun, it would be kickback. I get what you're saying. Well, it goes into, I've been talking about this a long time. They can't kill everybody at once. That is what, that's the real kickback that you kind of referring to. If they killed everybody at one time, I mean, they got put into an ice age before. I'm pretty sure in this reality, they got froze out. I've been saying that for a long time. Them main wizards. I know we call reptilians, but these main wizards that's behind the guns and the cannons, they gave these motherfuckers that was in dark ages. You look at the period between these motherfuckers being not able to do shit and all of a sudden being able to build these towers, and all of a sudden the guns come. But my point is, there's one point they killed so many people in the world, they got reset. And that is why the slow death, the slow controlled death. Because now they can just, you accumulate this. They set certain tones, sounds, pictures. So they ain't got to put nothing in your food anymore. Because that, again, the food is all bad. The food is all bad. I was looking at, Facebook's puts the kind of thing, shit 40-year-old man shouldn't eat, like juice. When you get the coma chia, I think it's called. Look at that shit. We're trying to get some probiotics. You read some of this shit, nothing but concentrate. The juice is not even real juice. It's the worst shit. Concentrate. Concentrate is nothing but Kool-Aid. Concentrate is basically Kool-Aid. That's why apple cider is better, because it's at least real apple juice. Muffins that help you crap, but have a lot of sugar in them. And then if you get the muffins with the plastic wrapped around, shouldn't even eat that shit at all. Quick Trip here serves them like that. Any muffin in plastic, because they still be kind of warm when they wrap them in that plastic. Can't eat that shit. Fake sugar. Fake sugar is some other shit you shouldn't be eating. Diet Coke. You know how addictive Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi is? Remember a couple of my exes. She like couldn't stop drinking Diet Coke when my daughter was born. She was so addicted to that shit. So, yeah, they're not gonna kill everybody. Sugar and chemicals. Hey, Greg Deep, coloring. These fuckers. The picking up on the disabled is a violation. Coke right now is a drug. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, sugar, and cigarettes. Basically, just cigarettes are some of the worst things that are going on right now, and they're so addictive, and they're also so much part of America that it's a kind of thing that they taking advantage of us, because you can make healthy cigarettes. You can make cigarettes that won't give people cancer. It's been proven. Again, man could smoke cigars for 80, 90 years. Well, let's say if that man lived to be 116, 113, so he smoked cigars for 70, 80 years. So you can make it where it don't hurt people. That's the thing. You can make it where it don't hurt people. Tobacco has a lot of healing possibilities. And yeah, I can't think of the other word. But so some people saying they'd rather collect unemployment. Where'd that jump to? Missed it. Oh, why'd you retract it? Grandma chewed tobacco for decades. My first wife's mother dipped white snuff. Like it's white. The type of snuff that's white. She dipped that. Yep. her mother dips, her mother and my dad. Oh, here we go. She said, rather collect unemployment than find a job for 12, 16 welfare states. And, you see in the states that's rejecting the money now. States is pushing that money back because people ain't wanting to work. Shit, you getting 250 and then they turning you into 500 a week. Most people would just chill. Most people would just want to chill. Tobacco is a healing property. Yeah, it is. Right, Shadow, it definitely is. Yuck to me, but she had no issues. Oh, your grammar was off. Okay, I got you, Barbara. Oh, Barbara. What else? There was something else you said you needed. Yeah, because I'm stepping up, guys. I've got Crazy Sarge's boxes ready. It's already been taped, so I can't add anything to that. But Barbara, there was something else that you said you needed, because I've got your box ready. So hopefully I can think about it tomorrow and I'll send it off Crazy Sarge. So that is the plan, to wake up and send that off to you. But Barbara, there was something else you said. Was it Sugite that you said that you didn't have? But I'll send that off to you. And again, going to paint the cards. This is one of my big effort, is going to make the paint these cards, and I'm going to send these cards off to everybody. I'll take the cost and I'll send these cards off. And what you'll do is you'll take these cards and you put them on your Wi-Fi. Now, judge, I'll say this. If you see it slowing down your Wi-Fi, you might want to put it to the side. Because I know, what's his name? One of Slide's guys, he was saying when he first put Sugite on his Wi-Fi, slowed it down. So these cards have that potential, but that is my big term. I'm going to get the cute little cards, index cards, and paint them. And this should be put near or on your Wi-Fi box. So that is one of the things that I am going to do for everyone. So Sugite, okay. I'll look at all I have, because I'm going to do a video and show everybody all I have too. And yeah, I'll pick you up some of that. They hate everything. People who have been unemployed for a year now and have nothing to show for it, just collecting unemployment funds. Now, back when I got fired in 9, and really they came back and said they shouldn't have fired me. That was the case. It was like my car broke down. I was catching the bus, and I one morning didn't remember what time the bus came, so I called in. And so then I go to work and they like hand me papers, and I'm like, this is like the first time I've ever got anything from you guys, and you're telling me I'm terminated. And so this was under Obama, so this was still 8 or 9, maybe 9 going into 10, or maybe 10 going into 11, but it was under Obama. And I had got unemployment for like, shit, it was like 13, 14 months. I know Obama extended it, but it was like 13 or 14 months. And shit, it helped me get a house and all that. Yeah. I want to get back to this. I guess I did, but it says...
at Verizon, we are investing $3 billion.
Okay. Says microbes, let me see. Microbes on Earth have been on Earth, and they are everywhere. They're inside us, all our bodies. And so they think that something they were putting together, this damn craft could have, and good, and they did this shit on purpose. If they are up there, they're putting shit to see if it'll grow. But if you look at, now one thing that goes into the Anunnaki stories, and some of the first pictures supposedly they were showing parts and shit, up there. But I don't know if I really believe that. But it's some of that stuff might be put up there already too. So we can't put nothing past these mugs, nothing past them at all. So, oh, the sugar makes you not want anything negative. That's good. That's real cool, because that's what it'll do. It won't accept it. That's why if you just hold it in your right hand, nothing's really, as energy's coming in, it's going to stop. It's going to kill it. It's really going to kill negative energy because it can't exist with sugarite. It is one of the crystals that negative, it will not hold it. It is made to destroy it. That is like, even it looking like in this and just this powder form. This powder form is made to really, it is one of all the minerals. It is one mineral that is here to help man. Here to help man. Out of all these minerals that have different possibilities, sugarite is one of the oldest stones on this planet. And it was alive. Now, oxygen, when there was no oxygen, sugarite was able to live. It was a living creature. And despite that, despite oxygen coming and turning it into a rock, into a mineral, into a crystal, it still has memory of being a living being. And so it has a consciousness to it that will help us. And most old stones feel like that. Most old stones, like the stone I was showing last night with the pink granite, this is what they call a glacier rock. These rocks came up from Canada somewhere. But sugarite is the one stone that won't hold negative energy. That's the thing with diamonds. If you have diamonds, you got to always clean them. You got to always clean them because a diamond will hold negative energy. That's why zirconiums is better, because zirconiums is just a metal. So it's not going to amplify. Again, you're wearing a diamond and you're having a bad situation. It is going to amplify that. Or, okay, you get out of the bad situation, that diamond's still holding that energy. So the next situation you're getting into, unless you've cleaned it, there's easy ways to clean it or release it. It is going to amplify negative energy because it will hold negative energy. And that is, people are telling you that certain crystals can hold negative energy. They ain't telling you enough. They ain't telling you the whole story. Like, I accept this, and I'll tell anybody this. Moldavite will turn symbiotic with you. It almost is like it comes here and fights this reptilian brain, but it works there. And what happens is as the thing that is attacked by older folks, you get 60 plus, is short-term memory. And Moldavite will help return some of that short-term memory. Now, I know most of the books say it's a stone of transition, and you're always transitioning. Could be to a point, but that is not its real purpose, as far as I see, for older folks. It helps with memory. It helps. I know it does. And it's becoming the gotta have stone kind of thing. You're seeing the prices go up. That was clumsy. That was clumsy. But it helps with that when you get older. But sugarite is just excellent protector. Like, if you want one stone that is going to give you constant protection and never turns off, never get full, sugarite, you can't beat it. Yeah, I mean, Musk is another dude. It's just an actor. That's all. Saturday Night Live proved he was just an actor. Yep, he is. I agree, Shadow. Finding Moldavite. I've been told there's a shortage. People are selling glass, and don't get it from China. Don't get it from China. Yeah, don't get it from China. I'll look, because it's funny. Years ago, he just had these little chips of Moldavite, and he didn't even keep them behind the counter. I noticed last time I was in there, so I'll see if I can get some pieces, because it doesn't take a lot of it. It doesn't take a lot. I'll say that. It doesn't take a lot. Everything's over there because of my Virgil. I put a piece on my Virgil years ago. So I'll look for, see if they have any of them little pieces too. Green selenite. Okay, I haven't seen that. Well, it's all good. I am on wine cup number 3. I feel you. I about want to. I got a pee, so I'm probably going to take a pee break and grab me another beer. Hey, Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I do have to pee. So we're gonna have to take a quick, inter- quick intermediate break of me running to the bathroom. I don't know if I'm gonna need another beer. Probably don't. I don't know. I've been going an hour and a half. I'm probably ain't gonna go too much longer. That's funny. Pop them if you got them. There you go. Brother Renzo again, thank you for joining me. No, I gotta pee. This is not gonna go away. So give me about 3 minutes. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that reminds me of uh, oh my goodness, dried my hands out. That reminds me of Jackie Brown, Samuel Jackson. When he goes in there and he bails out Chris Tucker, and the guy comes out the bathroom. He says, "Wash your hands." And then the worst bathroom story I think I've told this before, and I'll tell it again. You've heard it before. Just it's a silly story, but reffing. We was in a small church reffing a varsity basketball game, maybe JV varsity. Sometime the little schools we would do both. Come out there about $150 for doing 2 games, easy. And we had to dress in the bathroom because normally we just didn't wear these ref suits around. We'd change wherever we went. So we go in the bathroom. There's a dude in there taking a crap. We're getting changed. And so we try to get out the way. We hear the dude finish, and we try to get out the way so he can wash his hands. The guy does not wash his hands. Now, one thing I loved about Michigan basketball when I refed is soon as we walk in the gym, practically, somebody's giving us money or a check, more than likely a check. And where we go up to, and this was the kind of little school, most little Catholic Christian schools are like this. The concessions is where we got our checks. Well, guess who was sitting at concessions? That's right, shitty ass. And he's getting food. Number two story is this happened here about a couple months ago, probably about 3 months ago now. But we have a friend, we call him Shitfoot. Now, I don't know where his name is Jacob, but we call him Shitfoot, or we just call him, I call him Foot. But Jacob came into my house, took his shoes off, played video games with my son's room, played video games. For some reason, Jacob had to go back out. No. I was sitting here in my, like a few feet up, and I'm smelling. And I go look at his shoe, and his shoe is encased. Like, if you step your foot in cement, how your shoe would look encased in cement. Well, he must have stepped in a pile of horseshit because his shoe was encased. Oh, this is what he did. They ordered DoorDash. He had went outside to smoke a cigarette. He put them shitty shoes in the hallway that I put him. Matter of fact, I put them outside. I put the shoes outside. I didn't even put them in my hallway. I put them outside. So he had to go outside to get his shoes. He put his shitty shoes on, smoked a cigarette with the shitty shoe hands, and then he came in and he's starting to eat. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you eating? You just got shit all on your hands. Those shitty shoes. And he didn't notice. He's probably a little drunk too. But it's like, yeah, he couldn't eat. And he never washed his hands. So that's kind of nasty. Jacob never washed his hands. So now we all they call him Shitfoot. His best friend is my other son. And he calls him Shitfoot. And he looks at me and he says, I'm never going to be able to live that down. I'm like, no, you're not. That was pretty nasty. But yeah, encased like I don't know where he lived that he would have stepped in horse shit, but obviously he did. That was more than dog shit. Or he was just so unlucky where he hit every like here it's pretty much the law, except here where I live. But that's another story. But it's like he hit every pile of dog shit he could hit. So we call him Shitfoot. Oh, that's our man. He's our man. uh, no, he didn't get in the house. He came into because I got another rug. I got one of them industrial rugs when you come into my apartment. I got an industrial rug, so that's where he came into. Yeah, and I had to take it outside and clean it too. Yeah, but I wiped down everything before, during, after guests. There you go, Jesse. But yeah, that was funny. We still laugh at it. Oh yeah, I live in the suburbs definitely. I was surprised. It's 20,000 people here. It ain't that big. Like they don't let Prior Lake proper really doesn't let any business be here. Like in Prior Lake proper, we don't have Target. They're not gonna allow none of that shit in Prior Lake proper. But it's all around us. That's why, like, they're about to disband flavored cigarettes in Prior Lake proper, but within miles, it's allowed. So you are kind of handcuffing a business that can't really compete. But you know, they feel they're helping the youth, which they are. Yeah, Lorenzo. uh yeah, it's see, that's the thing. I'll hit that. It's the thing where Overstand Mocha says it's like you can't be just one dimensional, one speed. You have to have a lot of different speeds. It's like riding a bike. Like a guy showed me a bike with just one speed. Well, that's good in some circumstances, but some circumstances you want a couple different speeds. And so you have to be flexible about who you are and what you talk about. It can't be like you go to a Christian channel and there's nothing else but Christianity. At some point there has to be something else in there. So thank you. Jeffrey, yes. He made that he made the joke, and even Musk made the joke Saturday about crypto, and it killed. And then not only did he make the joke about it, he followed the joke with, "We ain't taking it for our cars anymore." Now that's only been in play what, 6 weeks? About 6 weeks. He said he was maybe 8 weeks at the most. He said he was going to take crypto for his cars. Then all of a sudden you said you're not. You had to be selling cars like crazy. So why would you cut that kind of resource off? So yeah, but I mean, again, remember, it damn near died before this pandemic thing. It almost died. It peaked at 19 grand and it went down to under 3. So we're only talking about 14, 15 months of that kind of swing. Maybe about 16, 17 months. Because it was down. Remember, it went high as 19 and then it was almost done. It went back to 23. Now remember, Bitcoin had went in was, I think the buy-in was 50 cents to start with. It's a 50-cent buy-in at one point. So you lost, if you looked at it kind of like this, say you invested $9, it took a $9,000 hit. I ain't saying you all your 9 you necessarily lost, but you're gonna lose a substantial amount, taking a $9,000 hit. I think it was part of the act, though. First the dig on TV, and then following up with it. That's an attack. That's an attack. PJ said I bought a new couch. Ass funk is hard to get out. I remember, and I might have told this, but my son was my ex-wife's grandmother died. And so the boys were extremely little, like 1 and 2, maybe 2 and 3 at the oldest. But Keelan was still the big head when you see popping his head in. Keelan was still a baby, like diaper baby. And Keelan had shit. And I had to go, like, they had got so out of hand at the funeral. I mean, these two toddlers, there was just no way to make them just sit there. So I had taken him down to the basement of the thing. And then Keelan did shit. So I changed him down there. And I remember one of his cousins came down there. She was like, ooh, it smells like shit down here. I'm like, yeah, this little dude just blew this place out. And this is the funny thing about children. Like sometimes children will shit all up their back, or babies like you'll go out and take your beautiful baby out and visiting, and then the baby would just shit all up its back. Like, what do you do? It's like and the thing is like when it's your child, you look at it like, damn, it's a double damn. You'd be like, damn, damn. But it's what we do. Making too much energy to keep the traders up. He wants a more efficient crypto platform. That's a good point. That's a real good point, Jeffrey. Yeah, he's an agent. Definitely an agent. Yep. Take less energy to make trades. That's a good point. Ass funk. Yeah, it's tough to get the ass out of something. It's like if you have an apartment and the guy is lazy, and if you wash the drawers, now this is a hustling thing. If you are a single man and you ain't got the money, or your place ain't got the coins, well, if you wash your drawers, you gotta do like double scrub, like get some rocks and scrub that ass with that soap if you're gonna hang dry some clothes. Because if you don't, you're gonna be in the party and be dancing, and that funk will rise back up, and you'll be like, it's me. So yes, you've got to put special force to that ass. mm, mm, mm. I don't miss those days. Yeah, I don't either. I laugh when I see that stuff now. My son was little, did that in Walmart. Threw his clothes away and bought him some new ones. There you go. Washboard. There you go, Barbara. Oh yeah, So that's why I tell my son, I'm like, you gotta scrub those drawers. That's what you don't want. You don't want your being ripe. I think that gets the laugh. I think that gets a laugh. And there's always this. Oh, but life is fun. And it's so funny. I've had that happen before, where both of them come over to my house and ass be stinking, and then have to clean up the couch after they get off. This is one of the funniest thing. I was coaching with this dude, and this dude was about 420. He's about 6'1", but he was about 400 some pounds. He was sitting on the edge of my couch, and he wouldn't sit back, to put all the weight back. He kept sitting like on the edge where it was just one leg, and this motherfucker broke the couch. And this is what he had the nerve. He looked at me and said, "Did I do that?" And I'm thinking, now I'm over here and I didn't do anything, and there's no board. You just annihilated that leg, but he broke my couch. Inflation, where you are at. Have you seen inflation? Not really. Not really. I bought watermelon today. 4 or 5 slices was like three something. I got apples for $4. Trying to think. I got some steaks in there, $7, $8. Bought a couple steaks. Trying to think. No, not really. I couldn't say no. Beers are the same. Bottles are limited. Like normally I could get 12 packs of these. They didn't have that. So no. So that I have leather couches, so maybe that helps with guests. Kind of does. Oh, and guy was trying to give me some leather couches today, and I couldn't get a dang truck. Yukio syndrome. I had some guy want to give me these leather couch and a leather um what is the small couch love seat, and I couldn't get a damn truck or someone to help me. This child lives with me, stays up all night and sleeps till about, he's probably just getting up and gonna stay up all night until the morning. He went fishing. I'm glad he didn't bring me any fish because I know he don't know how to clean them. That's funny, Barbara. If you don't get away from me, oh, okay, I'll pick that up. Over here, don't mean pets. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, it's time to read the divination. And this is a good one. This is kind of for me too. Kind of dig this. Today is 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes. We are at 9 unal. Yeah, 9 unal, and we're going to be 6 kin. And 6 kin is semi. This is the fractal. And the energy is coming from the north for today. So semi is death, revitalization, realization of mortality of the physical body. Energy is coming from the north. All right, so semi is also called Moscato or death. In the image of the card, we see death watching the human beings through an instrument called a Tukalani, which was used to calculate the movement of celestial objects in the sky, Hanukkah, passing of time and therefore the duration of life. However, death is seated on the red throne, which symbolizes the renewal of life, meaning that death is not the enemy of life, but the perpetuary partner. In the Toltec Oracle, the card death does not represent misfortune, but on the contrary, opportunity for evolution and transcendence. The time for renewal has come. Something has reached the end, and it is time to let go and embrace the new time. A cycle has been completed. What used to give you life is not giving it anymore. You should move on to the next stage. Don't hesitate because it'll keep you hanging around what is already gone. You will find grief and emptiness in the same place where you used to find flowers and joy. It is time to turn your head to the time that is coming. Do not look back because the vision of time that is leaving may scare you and depress you to the point of depleting your energy. Leave the past in the past and embrace the new time that is arriving. It is the stage that your opportunity for growth is greater than ever. Take the opportunity and make the best out of it. So it is not like the European system of death. And even my own thing, something came to the end of its path, and it's joyful that it came to the end. I didn't see a lot of life in some things anyway, and so it's embracing that. Okay, Papa's got a brand new thing, and that's okay. What kind of seeds am I planting along my way? Am I harvesting these kind of fruits? What is the deeper message that his life is sending me through this crisis? If I lose, what am I trying to hold on to? Would it be the end of me? It wouldn't. Is there something pure and strong in me that will survive beyond any storm and period of trouble? And what I always say is, I am the storm. So there's no storm that could be coming because I am the storm. So. And you can't look at it as when it's time to move on, it's just time to move on. Don't look back. There's nothing to be bitter about. You just move. You should be fluid anyway. So that's how I feel about things. Oh. Yeah, overstand. Didn't really get a chance to sun gaze today. Kind of was busy with my daughter, cooking and everything. But I'll say this: this week it's been nothing but the simulator. I don't Yeah, it's my sun gazing for the past 4 weeks. Nothing but the simulator. Nothing but the simulator. Not the sun. No. Again, the moon. You put a you supposedly we put a telescope up and we put a time lapse in it to show it move around, but yet we still see the same side of it, which is impossible. Sometime in your life, you would see the other side. So there's some type of illusion there. It has to be. Again, I've witnessed two things in the air 3 summers ago. I caught it. I caught something bigger behind something smaller, and they both kind of moved, but I caught it. So I think one was the real sun. The real sun, there's a type of action that you see in the real sun. Not to say you don't see energy in the simulator, but the simulator seems much closer. I would say that's the difference. It seems much closer, doesn't seem as far away. So it seems like it's just been the simulator. Even this warmth of today, it appeared just like it's just a simulator. So yeah, I think there's some artificialness to both of them. Yeah, I've been seeing that, Jeffrey. They're trying to shut baseball down again. uh, uh, I've been watching Yakuza. Yakuza. You guys got to watch Yakuza. Yakuza is bad on Netflix. He's an ass whooping machine. uh, oh, get down, Jesse. Get down. Well, I'm glad the timing's perfect for you. That's a great word. Resigned. Moving on. I'm joyful for you. Oh, yes. I am joyful for you, Jesse Lynn. I don't know. I don't know. I know the mag always be trying to say the diamonds come from the dome. But see that plays, the dome again plays more into the Anunnaki. Because the story of the Anunnaki is they had to keep the dome up with they say atmosphere, but it's the dome. That's their story. That they had to keep the dome up with gold. Now the mag says that the diamonds we find come from the breaking of the dome. It would be easier to okay, if you looked at everything as an illusion, it would be an easier illusion than having to put a dome with diamonds up there. It could be illusion a lot easier than that, I think. So, again, you can see a certain part of space. I mean, you really can go up to see the atmosphere. uh, I've never, it would seem like even spiritually it would be hard to get through a dome. It seemed like everything would be blocked. And to me, I ain't found that blocked. So it could be, but you can go through it spiritually. I'll say that. So if it is that, you can still move through it. Now, great distances in a spiritual sense, Motivite can help with that too. So that's possible. It is possible. You just have to have an invite because it's possible to take your consciousness to the planets. I've said my relationship with Jupiter. I mean, this is going on the 4th year. I think Saturn is in my sky now. Jupiter's coming. So it's a way that you can see what's really there. It is a way, but it takes some work. It ain't just, wishing upon a star. It ain't that easy. It takes some real kind of spiritual work and magic. Um, you know, okay, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up because I was thinking about that as I was sun gazing yesterday. I forgot to bring this up last night, but and maybe I did do a little sunning today. Yeah, I was standing there. I was doing a little sunning when I had to wait for the DMV. Nobody's in there. This is what's interesting about the DMV. Nobody's in there. Like 3 people, 4 people, and they make us stand outside, which is stupid as hell. But anyway, I know Bomber was saying, and I might even pass this on, that if you go through the sun, that is a type of way to get through. But what if you went through the simulator? I would see that the same way as going into the light. So that's a leery thing with me to even want to use even the real sun now as to go through that portal. Because what if you go through the simulator? Now, if it's just a giant mirror, there'll be no effect. But if it's the same thing that people see when they die, that same kind of white blinding light, because the sun is a white blinding light, yeah, that would be the same trick. That would be the same trick. So you'd have to really know that it's the sun and not the simulator. I think. I think the simulator would be a type of trap. So that's a tough one out. That I've been thinking about the last couple of days. They do temp checks at the DMV here. You have to be outside because of the lines, etc. You get in. Yeah, it was none of that. It's only one dude was there. He stood there the whole time I was there, and nobody helped him. I don't know if somebody was working in the back, but this motherfucker just stood there like nobody was helping him. So I don't know what was going on with him. You have to get your license. You have to do appointment to get the travel license. You have to do appointment, but everything else you just like it. I love my little one because it's like in and out. Basically, it's another one I could go to. Like I was saying the other day, I had the dyslexia moment and drove way too goddamn far, right past the place. But it was, I would say, the whole time I waited, and I didn't wait that long. I bet only waited probably a half hour, if that, if a half hour. It wasn't that long. But it was only like when I got there, it was 3 people in front of me. That was it. And then inside, it was 3 people. So that's 6 people in front of me. And it probably took me about a half hour. And I must say, it was a sexy African woman in there. Very sexy, very big booty, big breast, very sexy woman. And she had a weave on, but her weave was short. And I was like, she gets it. She gets it. She gets it. She didn't try to have too much, had her hair braided, looked like underneath, and she had a weave to about here. And I was just very impressed with her. Very impressed. I was like, wow, she gets it. You don't need all that flowing, the flowing all the way down your back. You don't need all that. But I was impressed with the sister. I really was. And for some reason, African women love me. I don't understand what it is, but they like me. But one thing that I've noticed up here, a lot of brothers like European girls too. And so if the African sisters are like American men, they tend to like brothers like me. So I have a bunch of African lady friends. I don't really eat a lot of their food because they like different stuff than what I like. But I am, they'll make a little bit that I like. But some of that stuff I have to pass. A little too spicy. A little too spicy. I guess Antarctica, Jeffrey. Well, this is the thing. I do very little listening of channeling dudes, but one channeler I kind of saw some, and I've said this a couple weeks ago or even last week, is you can move across space time like I mentioned, like me even moving through Jupiter. One of my serpentine were baby, transition, that thing took me across Jupiter. Like Jupiter set a room aside where I can just go chill, where my understanding, it's like it puts me in a place where I can understand, and all the fractals coming, I can handle them. But I held the were baby up and I shot across some land. I shot across the planet in a way I'd never been able to do before. And it put me into a new room that was a little more, can't say advanced, but it was a little where I could fit in and understand what was in front of me. So it's like it took me on different steps, but that were baby just, it was like it almost put me into like like what a jet train would be, where it just something just shot me across the planet in like this little again hallway, like a tube hallway, and it shot me across the planet into a different room that was a little more advanced than the other, I would say, as far as my understanding. It was maybe, how can I describe this? Uh, like it understood me a little better, maybe a little more comfortable taking that next step. So, but my point was saying this guy said that he and the guy he worked with, they would get up in the morning and shoot to some planet, and they would come home in the evening. And so, and even though he's supposedly some channeler, channels information, as far as my own experience, that could be possible. Again, this experience I'm saying was within 5 minutes. So if he's saying he could go somewhere and come home, it's possible. Now, how they're doing it, I couldn't tell you how they did it. But if I could do that with my little bit of spiritualness, these wizards got a way to deal with this, to move through too as well. And then if you get into the Anunnaki story, that's where they're saying they was mining. So it's apparently could be something in Mars already, because that's part of the Anunnaki story. That's where they brought the gold from Earth, took it there, and then did the jump from Mars instead of here. Well, so I'll say this: they got in Dr. Fauci's ass. That dude named, was it Kennedy? One of them got into his ass. They said it was on TV. He told this dude, he said, "You are creating a lot of this." And this is the first person that ever said that to Fauci. He said, "It's very dangerous that you are working, controlling all these different things in the sake of mankind." He was the first dude I ever heard him say, "You have an investment in disease." And I remember when they I first heard it on the radio, I was like, "This is interesting." Then I got to see it, and I'm like, "Whoa, he roasted his ass." And so, but I mean, Fauci was in on the AIDS thing, so the AIDS thing was everything Fauci been into was a gimmick thing. Now they got AIDS commercials, people dancing, and the girl was doing the band leader. "I'm not going to let my HIV slow me down." So how did it now? It won't slow you down, but if you listen to Jason Williams, the ex-pro basketball player that killed the limousine driver, his sister was one of the first heroin users that have it up in New York, excuse me. And he said they was in environmental suits. They didn't know what the fuck was supposedly wrong with them. So how did it go from them being in environmental suits to now we got commercials, nothing gets in the way of me and my whatever. So now to answer your question, in the beginning of the toilet paper thing, they were showing that stores were doing this on purpose to impact. One person came out and filmed it, and he said, "Look at what my store is doing. My store has removed all the toilet paper." He said, "We're not out. We just moved it away from the shelves. And now they're taking pictures of the shelves and saying we out of toilet paper." This is how the toilet paper propaganda got pushed around. That's how it got pushed around. These stores set it up, the paper companies. And then there was such a high demand for toilet paper, they quit making napkins and they quit making freaking paper towels. So it made a shortage of them because the demand was for toilet paper. But if you watch the paper stocks, the paper companies was making a killing. I don't know if people remember these first days of this thing. Keep watching the money. I was making on my other channel, I was making a lot of videos about the paper and the money. That was the main thing I was watching. Because it was seeming as the money was getting dreary, things was getting dreary. There's no confidence. So it was all propaganda. Gas thing is the same thing of propaganda. They tell you they're the best. They got the commercial. Remember the commercial where the little girl, that she's fighting hacking and telling dad, "This is what I want to do." It was an Army commercial. Now they telling you they paying motherfuckers off. It is a couple of things I could say, but I don't want these motherfuckers knocking on my door. Here's some shit I could say, but I'm not gonna say the shit that I'm thinking. I don't want the motherfuckers. Hey, we heard you say that, but that shows you that this computer video game shit paid off. So I ain't hating the players. They made these motherfuckers pay. Hmm. uh, yeah, it ain't overstand. It ain't exactly. And my daughter's mother, we have a refinery here. And do you know how strict that shit is? I mean, just being there, like she's an accountant, so she had to see a lot. Like she had to go through a lot of training because she was on that motherfucker. She had to be on the grounds, and yeah, it doesn't seem like the system would be that easy. That's seeing the next thing, like Jeffrey has said earlier, the grid. Motherfuckers be able to hack the power grid because that was a test in Texas, and I don't care what anybody says. Texas is going to be faced with heat or turn in your guns. That's what Texas is going. This was how they do it. This play last year. Next year, that is going to be the cry. If you turn in your guns, it seems like they're going to try to freeze people out in Texas to turn in their guns because they're the most armed state that they fear. They fear that shit. They fear Texas and the arm. They fear most of the down south. They fear Californians with guns. The state is so big. So, and I'm going to have somebody on that's a champion out in California. I'm going to have her on. Talked to her earlier, so excited about having her on. And I'm not going to tell her story. I'll let her tell her story, but she's coming on hopefully coming up pretty soon. I've got to get to the Waken one. She butt called me yesterday, and I don't know, she butt calls me all the time and like, hello. So I've got to get in touch with her because I did her a misservice. But so I'm looking forward to bringing her back on too. So Adolph Spencer. Yeah, you don't believe it either, but welcome, Adolph. Thank you, Adolph. Thank you for joining. They put enough sweetness on that to gel with the dark, rich tobaccos from Ecuador. I know a lot of people like Cuban cigars, but I prefer Ecuadorian cigars because they were grown with Cuban seeds. And so all the 60 years that you could not buy Havana tobacco, they had 60 years to make it good in Ecuador. And I think Ecuador does a hell of a job. No problem. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, but the hacker thing is not believable. That's saying the missile defense system and all that. It's like you noticed when they was talking about uh, Hamas shooting all these missiles at Israel, then they're saying that the defense system is catching a lot of them, and then they want to tell you that Iran is, backing Hamas, but Britain backs Iran. That ain't changed. Iran ain't never took their hand out away from them. So it's just it's not. But it's and I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but it's a shame. I mean, what like Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing, School Days, talking about apartheid, that's still going on. And ain't nobody speaking out against that. No one speaks for those people. They are one of the most oppressed people on this earth, and no one speaks for them. And it's the old story too. It's the old story. We ignore the oppressor and condemn the oppressed. We condemn the oppressed if they want to fight from being oppressed. Same thing that we've been seeing in this country for the last year. You have violence put upon you, but you're not supposed to respond with violence. It's okay after the violence that the government puts on you to protest peacefully. But the government comes at you with violence. And then this same government tells you to be peaceful in your protest. How does that make sense in universal law? That does not make sense. And it goes against it. They know it. So these are some realities. These are some realities. Remember Public Enemy song, "What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down?" Yep, Barbara, I do. Yeah, everything would be vulnerable, Adolf. It would be. If you look at years ago, okay, I can feel that. That they do that. They do that. Hey, Soap, thank you for joining me. Been busy this week. Glad I could turn in. Cool. Eye for an eye. Yeah, yeah. And so this idea of being peaceful when peace ain't put upon you, that's the thing. You're not hit with peace, so how can you be peaceful? That's some oxymoron shit. Then Biden said, "Well, peaceful protest." Was they peaceful for you? With you? Now some of this shit's psyop. Some of this violence is made up. I mean, some of the Floyd stuff. Again, I've talked about this even before Floyd. This has been a test state for a long time. So killing first killing Young, killing Castile, and then killing Floyd. This was a test state. They tested it. They tested it with Castile because people responded. People shut down the 4th precinct, which is in the hood here on the north side. They shut the street down for about a week, about a month. It got cold and shit, and then they finally broke it up. So when Castile came, people didn't protest as much. So then Floyd comes. This was there was kerosene already there. But I said this before on my other channel. This was a test state. So each one was a different test to see what the people would take. And they thought Floyd was just going to be a regular test. They didn't think Floyd would go around the world. They didn't think these. Now, I'll say this about the Who I Smoked generation. They came out for that shit. And they put a storm on these motherfuckers they didn't anticipate. But see, that's the good energy that could be used. But that same energy now is being paid off because they saw that in them. That is why that video, Who I Smoked, they want that popular. Go back to killing each other. We're not the enemy. We're going to play tag with the guns. Go back to playing tag with the guns. We're going to make sure you have the better guns. And then they go to them and say, we're going to make sure you have the better guns. What did we just see on Snowfall? He gave Uzis to both sides. Remember that on Snowfall? But they saw that. They saw them 15-year-olds. That's why that Bibby, Who I Smoked, that's that they want no. We can't have you 15-year-olds organizing, hating us. You got to hate each other. Yes, get back to hating each other. So, I've always tried to bring peace into all interactions with people. Feels most natural to me. Yeah. What do you think of the current world events? A-Wind, always the same. It is. It is all the same psyops. That's what we've been talking about tonight. From the currency thing to saying that, you gotta wear, you gotta come take it. We want everybody to have it. Why so bad? I mean, when is the history of man have we ever just got that free like that? You got to pay for insulin, but you ain't got to pay for that. And if you need it next year, you ain't got to pay for that.
Damn, you look like a scout.
Your mama look like a scout. Your mama play linebacker for the Bears. She number 52.
You got jokes now.
I got a piece of chicken already cooked. You gonna cook that?
Cheddar bacon.
Cheddar bacon. You don't like cheese. You're lactose intolerant.
So?
You're a darkie, and darkies are lactose intolerant.
Indeed, I am lactose.
So why would you eat that?
Because I don't give a fuck.
I don't think in this mic they can catch you. All right, brother. How's everybody? Sean, thank you for joining me. I heard guns are now as freedom seed plants. I redefined as freedom seed plants. That was a good point. Can you get donuts with the... Look at all that face. God damn. Man, it's just like a giant face creature. It's copper. Don't you throw that down.
Oh, I thought it was a bouncy ball. Why did the heavy one here?
That's it.
Nana had the heavy one.
She has the heavy one.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you just put shit down?
I said sick.
Okay, sick.
I'm steal it from you.
You're not gonna steal it. Okay, give me my stuff. Oh,
You bought mayo?
no, I forgot. The banter.
Steak this morning.
I saw. And why did you take the hamburger out?
Huh?
You unthought hamburger.
Indeed.
Why?
Because if I eat that steak today, then I can eat the hamburger tomorrow.
Hamburger's probably gonna be going to goulash tomorrow. Lucky I didn't eat it tonight.
Goulash fucking sucks.
Well, Natalie likes it. Or burgers, but she generally eats 2 burgers.
How does she eat 2 burgers?
She eats 2 burgers. And
No, she doesn't.
she ate 2 burgers, 4 slices of watermelon, an apple, trying to think, and a baked potato. I baked potatoes.
That's not a lot.
Fucking a lot. She ate more than I ate. I ate 1 slice of watermelon.
I eat more than me.
Goulash is amazing. I think so too.
Terrible. He cannot cook.
Okay, that's why you so big. Oh, let me tell you, in Michigan, they make the worst goulash. They call it.
You make the word
No,
goulash.
listen to this. They call it Polish goulash. Polish goulash. And this is how you make it. You fry the hamburger or sausage, both. You keep all the grease, and you put the grease with the noodles and everything and the seasoning all together. I remember the first time looking at it, and I'm looking at my plate, and I'm like, what is all this gravy doing? And I watched them make it the next time. Yeah, it's heart attack goulash. I was like, no way I wouldn't
Ain't that
drain
supposed
it.
to be like sausage and goulash?
You can put sausage in it too.
No. It's supposed to like sausage link.
Nah, not really.
No.
No.
You tell me what's in your goulash.
Hamburger, basically, or sausage.
No, just tell me you.
Tomato.
There's
Tomatoes.
3 ingredients.
Tomatoes.
What are your 3 ingredients?
Meat, hamburger, tomato soup,
And noodles.
and noodles.
That's it, nigga. That's not goulash.
But they say that men over 40 should not have goulash.
Why?
It's not good for you. It's a lot of sugar
What?
in the noodles. Yeah.
Carbs?
Not a lot of the sugars that
You
are.
get whole grain.
I don't know. Yeah.
What are you talking?
Jailhouse edition. Yeah, there you go.
What do you say? What they say?
Children have big appetite. Somebody said jailhouse edition. That the goulash with all that
That's
grease
what
in
you
it.
eating. You eating
Without that
Jailhouse
grease.
edition. Nigga.
I pour that grease out like your
Yeah.
mom and them used to make. Your grandmother. They used to make tacos.
Mom doesn't make goulash.
They would make tacos. His mother's family, his grandmother would make tacos and wouldn't drain the meat. All that grease in there with just seasoning. Yeah, that's all she used to make.
I don't
And
think
I wouldn't
Mom
eat
drains
it.
the
I wouldn't
grease.
eat it. Everybody drains the grease.
Mom does?
She drains the grease,
Mm.
but your grandmother didn't.
Man, Mom's a chef, man.
Yeah,
Pork
your mom-
chops.
Your mom, I don't eat pork, so not really.
Mm.
Do
Fish
homemade
taco?
sauce and noodles. There you go. Corn, never tried it.
Yeah. You think Mom's gonna cook for Mother's Day?
She feels better. She's staying with Cameron now.
Yeah, sheesh. Man, if she cooked, man, I ain't have Mom's
She ain't
meal.
gonna cook though. She don't feel good.
I ain't have Mom's meal in a grip. No, she's not cooking.
I don't know. She can barely stand up.
That's not true. What, she have surgery?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
she can't really stand. Why you think we didn't go over there Sunday? She can't. She's staying with Cam the next couple of days. Yeah, she had surgery. She's not doing too good.
Yeah, I'm never
Heart
gonna
attack
call her.
tacos. There you go. Start placement. Stent placement. There you go, Barbara.
Nah, I don't talking about that.
Uh,
Mom made this fish one time. You know I don't like fish. You know I don't like fish, right? Mom
okay.
made this fish, right? She like had butter in that shit, wrapped it in like tinfoil and baked it, did some crazy shit to it.
You're not supposed to cook with tin foil. Oh, and you're not, check this out. You are not supposed to grill food without a cover.
Huh? What do you mean? Like without a grill cover?
Like if you just you just grill on an open surface, it's too many carcinogens.
No, that's not the word.
It's poisons, basically. It's too many poisons if you cook on an open flame. So you got to cover it. So it's, induction, I think they call it. So yeah, they're saying if you cook on an open flame, it's not healthy for you. Now, doing it every once in a while, but all summer, and there's summers, and there's summers I grilled every day, but I always had a cover.
There was a summer we grilled every day.
Every day. Yep.
Potatoes, like a corn, like everything.
Pizza, I grilled a pizza on the grill.
I swear.
You remember that?
No, I don't remember.
You remember that? Yeah, that pizza, that grill me and you put together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I just remember them baked potatoes with all fixings.
Yeah.
Them baked potatoes with all fixings.
That's what me and Natalie ate earlier. We ate big baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes ever since that day.
You got a potato head, so nothing new.
Off. Come on now.
Nothing new.
Don't blame me.
You couldn't even wear this hat.
Come on now. You trying to say I got a potato head?
You got like a
your head is
face.
The same color as a potato and everything.
No, my head is gold.
Potato man with a beard.
My head is gold.
And a big ass toucan Sam nose.
They can't really hear you with this mic. The hotter, the less smoke too. The hotter, the less smoke. There you go.
All right. Pops.
But that is what they're saying is don't eat. Oh, Charlie, what's up? Yeah, I got a trunk full of food I need to get rid of. I'm about to throw all this damn food away. And I got a trunk full of food that I need to get to my son if he'll take it. I have to throw them breads and all that stuff away. Get him a win, smoke him out. Yeah, but carbon monoxide poisoning, kind of. But I mean, it's just carcinogens. That's the word I'm looking for. It's too many carcinogens in cooking on an open flame. Now, if you camp and it's just once in the summer, fine. But if it's your general way of cooking, cover it up. Cover it up. And if you cook on gas, you're more than likely covering it up anyway. I could have gotten this nice gas grill, and I hate it. I bought this charcoal that wouldn't light, so kind of pissed about that. I mean, this corn, typically goulash too. Oh, my daughter don't like it like that. If it was up to me, yes, I put corn in my goulash. My daughter doesn't like it like that. She wants heavy onion powder, heavy garlic powder. But yeah, she don't really care for it with the corn. I like the corn in it. If I was making it for me without her, but then again, they're saying cut down on the noodles, which it's all the same. All the food is the same, no doubt. So it's all of it's bad. All the water's bad. The air's bad. I noticed, I was saying this, the pilots are up there spraying for these damn mosquitoes. And if they don't, it's hard being outside early evening. I mean, they get bad. I mean, for a lot of years, they call the state bird mosquitoes. It gets so bad here. I don't know how these people turned it like the 1900s, 1800s. They said you could put bear grease on you and they would leave you alone. But I don't know how these people survived. Because when I first started coming here in the 80s, yeah, early evenings was horrible. Horrible. You had to have all those smoke burners around your place if you was outside. Full of, spraying that poison on you to keep them off you. But, and like planet gazing, it was some days I had to put like hoodies on just to planet gaze. The bugs were so bad. So I see why they're up there. Now, I don't know if these modified mosquitoes Bill Gates supposedly helped pay for, I don't know if that's going to cut down, but mosquitoes get really bad. Mosquitoes ain't, and like here, like in Michigan, flies don't bite you in Michigan. Up here, they got a type of fly that bites, because mosquitoes are skinny. Flies they got these little black flies that bite the shit out of you up here. Mosquitoes or flies in Michigan don't bite. Here, they bite the shit out you. Just like we have those Japanese beetles, they'll bite you too. And they look like ladybugs, but they Japanese beetles. They eat something here. They brought them here for something, and they will bite the shit out you. They'll bite the animals too. They'll bite the dogs and cats, and you start seeing them. You got to start killing. Oh, has anybody seen the cicadas come out anywhere? I love hearing cicadas, but they get loud as fuck. But they have such a tone that, man, that for meditating, the Cepeda tone, because it's constant and it sounds like crickets, but it's them. They up in the trees. This is the first time in 17 years they've been up. So, 02, 03. Well, Cam's about to be 20. So, yeah, Keelan was born in 2, so 3. They ain't been out since 3. And I remember where I lived when they was little. They was out, and I remember hearing them outside my window. I loved hearing that. We had like a back window, and the big tree was right there. I really dug that, hearing them. Kick it all up and have a block party. Crazy Sarge. But yeah, that's I do overstand. I put corn in my stuff. I know it's a little delay, but yeah, I put corn in my stuff. Well, I'm gonna end, and I want to give applause and cheers to everybody that came watch me tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. I applaud everybody that's come to spend time with me. Oh yeah, this is longer. I've been going. It's not too late in the morning, 2:30. I get up about noon or a little before noon. Got a little business to take care of. But I will be on tomorrow night at the same time. And so thank you for coming. Now, his name is, we call him City, but his name is Keelan. There's 2 Keelans. It's my Keelan, and then we have a Keelan that actually lives in England, and his mother is, because it's an Irish name. And so, like, almost all my children have Irish names. One of the greats was Irish. We found even the clan we come from, as far as my great grandmother. Yeah, my grandfather's mother's mother was like married American Indian, American original, whatever you want to call it, married an Irish woman, and he got killed. They murdered him, but they had a child first, and they murdered him later. And this was done in Indiana. And so that is where. But all my children have, like, my real name is Brian. My son is Brian Jr. Brennan, Cameron. Because again, I come from the clan of Cameron. Clark's, Camerons are some of the same names. Trying to think. Keelan is another name. Now, just my daughter's names. Their names aren't. Natalie is not. Natalie was named after the Star Wars girl. She was like, no, my mom named me. I'm like, no, she didn't. Your brother Brian came up with the name. Yes, be safe. And don't live with fear. Cameron, okay, with a K. See, I spell my Cameron with a C. Okay, yeah, and his initials are Cam because his name is Cameron Allen, and then my last name is Macon. So his what we call him Cam, and that's his initials. So he lives by his initials. So everybody calls him Cam. Yeah, Natalie Portman. Yeah, that's who we named Natalie after. We named my daughter after her. Yep, we sure did. I'm not hiding who I am. It's easy. I live in Prior Lake, Minnesota. It's easy to find me. I'm normally at the end of where my complex is. I'm walking up and down. I'm pretty well known around here. I wear the plastic mask outside. People know me. People are used to seeing me walk around, and pretty much everybody waves at me. So I hold it down, and I'm solid. That's one thing. If I'm nothing else, I am solid. All these attacks that come, I take them in stride because I remember that I am the storm. So I'm not bothered by any of these attacks. Because I am the attack. And so, ladies and gentlemen, friends, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I've been your host. A Wind is Timeless. Thank you all very much. And until we meet again. Oh, I have to say Eshan's poem. I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Till we meet again, thank you all.